Welcome to the Dugout Report Podcast, where if you live and breathe baseball, you're in the right place. On today's show, it is a double episode 7 and 8 of the Dugout Report Podcast. As most of you know, we were not able to do podcast Tuesday because Bradley had no Wi-Fi. He just got it back today. So we have a loaded show for you, so we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into it, previewing our 6th weekend series, and this is episode 7 right now. There. We are actually going to first preview the North Florida USF baseball game, which is on Tuesday, which we will make the official announcement at the end of episode 8, what to expect Tuesday night. But we're going to try to preview in advance what we expect to happen Tuesday night. And I will let Bradley start with the USF side first.
Well, actually, these two teams were supposed to play yesterday in Jacksonville. The game got canceled, so I don't know if they're going to make it up or what, but they were supposed to play yesterday in Jacksonville. USF went to Gainesville and beat the Gators 7-1 on Tuesday. That was a big win for the program to beat the Gators on the road, in Gainesville. USF is currently second in the AAC. They got to continue to play well. They have the game against North Florida coming up Tuesday, and then they have 3 conference games before the conference tournament begins. I think on May 20th, I think is when the conference – and actually it takes place at Baycare Ballpark. I know the ballpark very well because I cover the Threshers, and that's where the Threshers play. So USF, it's all going to depend too on starting pitching and their bats. The bats have been good the last few games. So I expect them to continue that way, and it will depend on what kind of pitching we get against UNF on Tuesday.
Now, I will take the UNF side of it, and Tuesday the Ospreys will be coming off a 3-game set at home against Queens, which is one of the newcomers that recently joined the A-Sun, and they've had a good season with their first-year head coach because, as most people know, Tim Parrington, the head coach when I was there, had to step down because he was dealing with some health problems. But I think if they can take 2 or 3 from Queens and then go in Tuesday and play really well, I think they're set up for a good final week of the season into the conference tournament. Oh, can you do the timer for the next one?
I sure can, but what do you want me to put it for 4 or 6?
4.
4, you got it. All right, bud. Yep.
6 minutes will be when we do the Twins. So
okay, do you want me to start right now?
Yeah. Okay, so here are my 6 weekend series that I'm going to previewing. The first one is obviously, as all of you know, I am a Tampa Bay Rays fan. And we will get into elaborating about their weekend series with the Yankees later. But this weekend, they're at home, and they play the Brewers Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I fully expect, and it's not one of my bold predictions, I fully expect them to take 2 out of 3. Milwaukee has been struggling. Joey Ortiz was supposed to be their everyday shortstop, and he has all of a sudden forgot how to hit. No offense. The one thing the Brewers still do have is good pitching. And they could be getting Brandon Woodruff back soon. My number 2 series is the Cubs. They've got 3 at the Mets. And you may see a major league debut in one of those games of a guy we talked about on this show Cade Horton, who was just called up from AAA Iowa yet today, actually, to join the Cubs, on Friday in Queens to pitch one of those games over the weekend because, as everybody knows, they lost Shota Imanaga to the injured list. My third weekend series is the Red Sox, who have a 3-game set, and my co-host might correct me if I'm wrong. It says the Braves, but I might be a couple weekends ahead.
It's the Royals. It's KC.
So let me correct that then. It's 3 at the Royals.
3 at Kauffman Stadium. Yep.
Then my next one, and this is a big one for the Diamondbacks. They've got 4 starting tonight at 9:40 at the Dodgers. 4 games. And we will briefly in rapid fire talk about the Dodgers later because they're having issues keeping guys healthy. Won't specify what position. But my fourth weekend series to preview is the Twins and the Giants. It's 3 for the Twins at home against the Giants. And the Twins are another team we'll talk about a little bit later on in the show. My 5th is the Reds have 3 at the Astros. So that's 6. And then I believe you have the floor next, and you can reset the timer if you want, unless there's still time left.
There's 1 minute, but so I'll go ahead and reset it back to 4. I think we talked about this series last week. I think we kind of joked around it, but let's talk about the Marlins and the White Sox in Chicago starting tomorrow. 3 games, 2 bad teams, 14-22 for Miami, 10-28 for the White Sox. Let's go, man. So yeah, let's go. Marlins and Sox.
Lord. Can I say something really quick? That's got snooze fest written all over it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry those 2 fan bases, but that is going to be the most boring 3 days of baseball.
Yeah.
The stadium's going to be empty all 3 days.
Yeah, in Chicago. The next series will be the Phillies, who are currently playing Alex Rays at Steinbrenner Field. They're going to be moving to Cleveland. That's going to be a good matchup because the teams are evenly as far as record-wise. Not to jump to conclusions, but you might be able to say that maybe down the road this could be a World Series preview. These 2 teams are, right in the thick of it. Cleveland is 2 games, and the Phillies are 2 games back of the Mets, so they kind of they're staying right. They're kind of very close to each other. The Padres are. Did you say the Padres? But did you mention the Padres series?
No.
Against the Rockies. 3.
I did not.
San Diego 3-game series against the 6-30 Colorado Rockies. 6-30. That's bad.
And need I add, we will be talking about Bud Black and their GM later on.
How about this? How about the Yankees in, wait for it, Sacramento to play the A's?
You know what? That is foreshadowing. That's I've got that on my bold predictions. Yankee fans, you might want to close your ears on that because you're not going to like what my bold prediction is.
The A's are only 3 games back of the Mariners in the AL West at the moment, so good start for the A's so far this year. Number 4, guys, it's got to be Baltimore, who is a conundrum as far as I'm concerned so far this season. They're in Anaheim to play the Angels, who kind of are struggling, however you want to say that. My 5th one would be the Cardinals and the Nationals in D.C. I think that game is actually the Apple TV Friday night game tomorrow night at 6:45 Eastern time. And then the last one will be Texas in Detroit to play the first place Tigers, who are 24-13 so far this season. Good for Detroit so far this year. And
didn't both of us call that in before the season that Detroit was going to be good this year?
Yep.
So now reset it to 4 minutes. And ladies and gentlemen, each of us have 3 MLB bold predictions for this weekend. And Bradley, what are your 3 bold predictions for this weekend?
I am going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say the A's sweep the Yankees in Sacramento. Go with that. That's first. Number two. Let me see. Let me go back here real quick. You know what? I'm going to say this. There is going to be. Oh, can there be ties in baseball? I don't know if there is. Can there be ties? I don't know if they can.
No, there can't be.
I'm going to boldly predict that there'll be less than 5,000 people in the stadium for each of the 3 games with Chicago and Miami. Unless the Marlins fans fly on an airplane to Chicago, I'll say there'll be less than 5,000 fans in the stands for each of those 3 games. So less than 15 total for the 3. So I'll go with that bold prediction. And finally, I'm going to say the Red Sox take 2 out of 3 from Kansas City. It's going to be tough. The Royals are a really good baseball team right now, and the Red Sox have been iffy so far. We're only 1 game above 500. So I'll say we take 2 out of 3 from the Royals.
Okay, my 3 bold predictions. Number 1 is I've got an early candidate for Player of the Week for next Thursday's show, James Wood. And has anybody been watching James Wood? He has been in an absolute rampage the last couple of weeks, hitting home runs, playing really good center field for the Nationals, playing really good right field for the Nationals. So that's bold prediction number 1. Bold prediction number 2 is, and I just talked about the Reds and their 3-game series in Houston. Brady Singer goes on Saturday. And I'm making a bold prediction. And Astros fans, you can let me hear it in the comments because I will take full slander for this. I think Brady Singer is going to go 6 innings on Saturday, 1 hit, give up 1 run, strike out 11 Astros, and not walk a single batter.
I like that.
And then my last bold prediction, and you kind of took it from me. I think the Yankees get swept by the A's.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
And Twins fans, I'm sorry it had to come to this, but we have 6 minutes to tell you how we would fix the Minnesota Twins. Okay. And Bradley, what is the first thing you would do to fix the Minnesota Twins? Because I've got 3 things I would do. I want to hear what you would do first.
I hate to say this, but I think it's time for Rocco Baldelli to go. I really do. I think it's time for a new chief of house. And I hate to say that because Rocco's got them to playoffs. You know, he's got the Twins to the play. They just can't win when they get there. They can get to the postseason. They just can't win once they get to.
That's not one of the things I had. Let me tell you my first thing. And Twins fans are not going to like it. I would trade Byron Buxton to the Diamondbacks and call up Walker Jenkins. The Diamondbacks need a center fielder. And Buxton's playing at an all-star level right now. You could get a king's ransom back for him. And this is what the Twins have wanted. They wanted him to stay healthy and play. And what's he been so far this year? Knock on wood.
Good.
He's been healthy. Now, I understand Arizona might like Alec Thomas in center field. They might like there's the guys they got in center field. Byron Buxton is an upgrade over all of them. So that's number one. What is the number two thing you would do with the Twins?
Well, I think you kind of hit on it, but I think it might be time to get rid of some of these veterans that they have on the team and bring up the youth because, again, what can it hurt? What can it hurt? You bring these kids up, and give them an opportunity to play and see what you got down on the farm or whatever. But that's what I would do. Let the youth stand up.
My number two is trade Carlos Correa to, and I know this is going to hurt both of us, trade him to the Dodgers. Mookie Betts can move back to the outfield. Trade Correa to the Dodgers and let one of your top prospects, Brooks Lee, play every day at shortstop. And then that frees up a roster spot, and you could call Edward Julian back up and play him at second. Because you know what? I didn't put this on there, but Willie Castro is another guy that could potentially get you a big return.
Mm-hmm.
He's not young, but what is every team looking for? Versatility. He can play second base. He can play short. He can play third. He can play the outfield. There's got to be teams calling the Twins asking, oh, what's the asking price for Willie Castro?
Mm-hmm.
Because I bet you they would pick up the phone first for Willie Castro because he has less of an injury history than Correa. That might be the only thing that keeps Correa on the Twins is his lengthy injury history. And what is the third thing you would do with the Minnesota Twins?
Yeah, I think I kind of got to agree with you, but it might be time to get rid of Carlos Correa. I think we talked about him last week about how we thought he was not a great teammate. So it might be time, for him to go too. I mean, like you just said, he's injury prone, and you can't keep bringing a guy back if he's not going to be on the field for you. I mean, it doesn't work that way.
He's also overpaid.
Oh, well, yeah. I agree with you on that one too.
Oh, and the last thing I would do if I was the GM of the Minnesota Twins is trade Pablo Lopez. Because we know there's teams out there that need aces. Look at the Yankees. Look at the Red Sox. Even though they have Crochet, they wouldn't mind getting Pablo Lopez and giving up a couple prospects. And I think Pablo Lopez would fit well on the Cincinnati Reds. They trade him to the Reds, call up Zebby Matthews. And Twins fans, if there is any of you that watch the show, let us know what you thought of our opinion on your team and what we would do. Now we're going to get to a new segment we call Trade or Hold. And I believe my co-host has some names that we're going to go over that we're going to say either trade or hold, depending on what team they are on.
Okay, let me see.
And we have 6 minutes for this one, too.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to go on MLB.com here real quick, guys, and I'm going to bring some names out, and then you can tell us, nope, that's an old list. Juan Soto, like, nope, that's an old list because Soto's already – I've got 4 right here, courtesy of MLB.com. The first one is Sandy Alcantara, which I think we talked about last week.
I think that's trade for both of us.
Okay. Another one, buddy, would be Luis Robert Jr.
I know Jerry Reinsdorf doesn't like to dish out money. I'm going to say hold, even though I think the White Sox, if they did move him, they could get a haul back for him. What would you do in that if you're in a situation the White Sox are in?
I think you hold on to him for now, and if a team gets an injury down the road or during the trade deadline, and you can get a haul back from him, hold on to him until then, and then you can bring a bunch of guys back, or picks or whatever, however it might be. The next one is Nolan Arenado.
Trade.
I agree. I think it's time for him to get a new uniform.
Because the problem is, look at the Cardinals. They want to play other young guys, but some of them are blocked because you still got Arenado, you still got Fetty, you still got Ryan Helsley. If you trade those guys off, then you can play the young guys.
Mm-hmm.
And who's
the next one I have is Framer Valdez, if I'm pronouncing his first name correctly.
Framber Valdez of the Astros.
Yep.
This one's tough because it feels like the Astros, if they're in it at the trade deadline, they're going to buy. But if they're out, they're going to sell. So this one, I wish there was a third option here of wait. Because, I mean, and we just talked about it a few minutes ago with the Twins and Pablo Lopez. There's going to be teams out there that call these teams that have started pitching and say, look, we'll give you so-and-so for Pablo or Sandy, or in this case, a guy like Framber. You know what? Screw wait. I'm going to say trade.
Yeah, I would say too. Yep. And the last name, buddy, that I have is a Yankee, Paul Goldschmidt.
I mean, the only way I can see them trading Goldschmidt is if they somehow collapse and give up first place to Boston or the Rays, or maybe Baltimore comes out of nowhere and takes first place. And then in that case, who becomes your first baseman? Is it Ben Rice? Who don't get me wrong.
So,
yeah. I'm going to say trade, but the problem is, what would a package for Paul Goldschmidt look like?
That's a good question because he's an aging star. So, yeah, that's a good question. What are they going to get back in return for him?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we get into episode number 8. And the first topic we're going to cover is recapping the Rays weekend series and giving our player of the weekend from last weekend. So first of all, we're going to set the clock for 4 minutes.
Okay. Let's do it.
So the Rays, they lost the first game Friday in New York. And then they came back and they won the last 2. What are some takeaways you had from the last 2 games in New York for the Rays, whether it be pitching or the offense or defensively?
Yeah, I was going to say offense. I mean, they were able to swing the bats and score runs. And my player of the weekend is Chandler Simpson. When the guy can leg out of first to second, that's amazing to have a ton of speed. That alone right there is a weapon that the Rays, can use moving forward. But yeah, the offense is what propelled them to those 2 wins over the weekend.
I would agree. My issue is, what are you going to do? Josh Lowe just started a rehab assignment. who's going down to Durham when you get Josh Lowe back?
Curtis Mead, maybe? Or can he not go back to the minors?
I think he might have one more option left or two.
Okay.
There's no way you send Chandler Simpson back to Durham.
No,
absolutely not.
No,
the problem is when you get who goes down when you get DeLuca and Mag? Well, no, yeah, Magum's about to start a rehab assignment too. Does he just when he gets activated? Does he just go back down to Durham?
Probably.
And then that spot goes to Josh Lowe. But then again, you're in the same situation when you get Johnny DeLuca back. Who's going down to Durham in that situation, in that spot? Maybe Cameron Meisner?
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough.
You would be dumb to send a guy like Chandler Simpson down to the minors, who's hitting, I think he's hitting 500.
The only guy he struggles in the pitching, but that could be adjusted to.
The only thing he's a negative with is home runs. He will probably have 0 home runs the entire rest of the season. But he brings that element of speed. And then same thing with, you're supposed to get Hassan Kim back in June or July. Who goes down then? Is it, I think Coco Montes is up. Does he go back down?
Yeah, because you sign that kid. So, yeah, absolutely. You got to send somebody back down. And
I hate to do this, do you DFA a guy like Taylor Walls? Because I know how much the front office loves Taylor Walls, but I think it's time. I am sorry. I like Taylor Walls, but I think it's time for him to just change of scenery, go somewhere where you can play every day and you're not stuck in a ballpark. Well, Steinbrenner Field's good, but Taylor Walls is not really a home run hitter.
No.
Even though he had a 3-hit game in one of the games against the Yankees.
Correct.
So, in our player of the weekend, who is you? First of all, how much time do we have remaining?
That's it, but the 4 minutes is up.
Okay, so this could be untimed as part of the recap for the Rays. Who was your player of the weekend from last weekend?
Oh, it's Chandler Simpson. To see him leg out a base hit into a double, you don't see that very often. So, yeah, definitely. And he was I picked the click last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My player of the weekend from last weekend was also a Ray. Jonathan Aranda, going 5 for 11 with a home run, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. So the strikeouts that's always going to be the problem with a guy like Jonathan Aranda, is strikeouts. But now you're seeing him be more patient at the plate. Could this potentially unlock more playing time for a guy like Jonathan Aranda at first base, with Curtis Mead struggling?
I think so, but I mean, he's been sent down and brought back up a few times too. So I think maybe it's that, he's got it in his head. Hey, I got to be more patient. I can't swing at every pitch, and he's doing what he's doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Next topic, and it's something we kind of touched on at the end of last Thursday's show. And I know Rockies fans don't want to hear it, but we don't want to hear it. We thought these two guys were going to be gone. There was a managerial change, but it was not the Rockies. It was the Pirates firing Derek Shelton. And these next two could be untimed, so we can take our time with what we want to say. And
Okay.
I'll let you give your 2 cents to Rockies ownership right now about why they need to get rid of Bud Black and the GM.
Well, I mean, let's look at the record. I mean, they have the worst record in all of Major League Baseball. And they haven't been very good over the last few seasons. It's not like it's just this year. They've had issues. And again, so you fire the manager, but you still keep the GM. Doesn't make any sense. I think it's time for ownership to clean house, get a new general manager, get a new voice in the clubhouse. You never know, man. There have been times, and they mentioned this on the radio this morning, that, the Washington Nationals, the year they won the World Series, they started off under 500 and then went on to win. Who knows what can happen from now until October? And if the Rockies can make some changes now, I'm not saying they're going to win the World Series, but they can, who knows how many games they could win if they change managers.
Because we both know what division the Rockies are in. They're in the NL West. And they would have to jump the Dodgers. They would have to jump the Padres. They would have to jump the Giants. So that's 3.
And the Diamondbacks as well.
And the Diamondbacks. So they would have to jump those 4 teams to get the first place. And I don't think that's going to happen. Here's my 2 cents on this. The Rockies, did Bud Black and the GM survive? Yes, they did for now. But I think if they keep struggling like this, ownership's going to step in and say, look, either the GM goes or Bud Black has to go. And I think, honestly, they would take Bud Black being fired over the GM.
Yeah.
Because if you get if you get a new GM in there, look at all these guys they brought up: Dollander, Tovar, Doyle, Tolia, McMahon. They would all be on the chopping block. Did you get a new GM in there?
Yeah. Well, yeah. See, and I also think too, but it probably would be cheaper to get a new manager than fire your GM, because I'm sure your GM's got a contract, just like your manager does. But I probably would be a little bit easier to get rid of your general manager over your manager himself.
Yeah. So now we go to rapid fire, and we are going to talk about how bad the umpiring has been this year. And Bradley, you have the honor of going first.
Well, I mentioned earlier about, and my co-host, about how the strike zone hasn't changed in some 20 years, I think was the article that I read on BleacherReport.com, that the umpires have not changed the strike zone in 20 years. Well, it's going to change, guys, because guess what? The automated strike zone is coming to the major leagues, whether they like it or not. It's coming.
Yeah.
And the umpires, it really, this should never happen either. A game should never come down to an umpire's call costing a team a game, ever. It should never come down to that. And fortunately, there have been games. I was watching I watched Fernando Tatis get thrown out of the game.
I did too the other night.
John Boy Media. You guys watch that channel. Go watch that channel. He paragraphs what the managers are saying. I don't think I've ever heard so many F-bombs by a manager than I did for the manager for the Padres when they threw him out of the game. But
Mike Schilt.
Yeah, and I guess Mike was telling him that we've only had 3 guys thrown out in the last 5 years. He likes to kind of keep the dugout, calm, where no one's getting thrown out. So when you see a manager like him, is, you know what? Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. And here's what I have to say about the strike zone. I saw it in the Rays game the other night, and I've seen it in all the other games I've watched. These umpires, they have a razor-thin strike zone. When the game first starts, if you go up and in, it's a strike. If you go on the out, like the bottom third of the zone or outside, it's a strike. But as the game goes on, then all of a sudden, oh, that's a ball. That's a ball. I'm like, okay, where's your strike zone actually at? Are you just squeezing the strike zone so you could speed up the game?
Guess they got a hot date after the game. I gotta get to it.
I guess so. And the issue I have is these umpires, they have too quick of a fuse when the managers come out. And I understand you're not allowed to argue balls and strikes, but can you at least give them leeway to ask where the pitch was instead of just, oh, I know what you're coming out here about. You're gone. Like, give them a little. I give credit that there is some umpires that do give a little leeway to the managers or like a hitter. But I think it's absurd that when these guys, if they break their bat on home plate or toss a helmet, okay, I understand finding them, but they're walking away. Why are you tossing a guy that's walking away, walking back to the dugout? Like, come on, just calm down. There's no need to throw somebody out that's walking away calmly and peacefully. Like it happened 2 weeks ago to Christopher Morel. He struck out.
Broke his bat.
Broke his bat on home plate. And, I mean, I read his lips. He was kind of asking where the pitch was, and the umpire's like, you need to stop. He did, and he still got thrown out of the game. Like, that's called you're looking. And that's what I don't like about these umpires. Some of them, they're looking for an argument from a player or a manager.
Yeah.
Like, look at like Will Little or Adrian Johnson. These veteran umpires, they know how to get a manager to come out of the dugout.
Well,
or if you look back to, I think it was last year, the Yankees, Aaron Boone. There was a fan heckling the umpire behind the dugout, and the home plate umpire is like, Boone, you stop. That's enough. And from what I read, from what I took away from that, he stopped. Boone didn't say anything. It was the fan that was heckling the umpire. The fan should have been the one ejected from out of the stadium, not Boone.
Yep, I agree.
And the same thing happened to Skip Schumacher. The same exact thing. And again, we've talked about this at length. These fans that their sole purpose of going to the baseball games is to heckle. Be careful. Be careful heckling.
You'll see it on. Wait till Tuesday night. You'll see it. So yeah. So.
Oh yeah. Yes. We will get to Tuesday night in a little bit, but yes, be careful heckling because sometimes it backfires or sometimes it can get you ejected from a game. There has been fans that have been thrown out of games for heckling.
Yeah.
Now we get to our picks to click, and I'm going to say something. This week I had a real hard time choosing who I wanted to pick as my pick to click.
Okay.
But I will let you go first.
Buddy, I have, and if I'm pronouncing his first name incorrectly, I think his name is Mikel Garcia. He plays for the Royals. That is my pick.
Mikel Garcia.
Yep, that's who I'm picking this week.
My pick to click is, it's not a Ray. It is a guy that was a Mets farmhand, and he was in the Javier Baez trade from Chicago to New York. Pete Crow Armstrong of the Cubs. And Pete, please come through for me. The last couple of weeks, I've not been doing good with my picks to click. I think I only got 6 points the entire last week picking Spencer Torkelson, which was a mistake.
Hey, it happens. It happens. It's early in the season. The season.
Yes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to give you some prospect updates for the Reds, the Rays, the Red Sox, and the Twins. And we start with the Rays. And give me 2 seconds. I've got it pulled up. Right there. Bam. Okay, so we're going to go through the top 15 prospects in each of these 4 teams' prospect pool. And we're going to kind of give you an update on where they sit a month into the season. So we start with Carson Williams, who we ranked on our rankings. Mm-hmm. And we are going to pull up his stats for the last 30 games, so the last 30 days. And he is in Durham this year. Yikes.
185?
Yeah, he's hitting 185 on base. I'll let you do the stats. Carson Williams, of the number 1 prospect of the Rays.
Yeah, Durham Bulls, he's hitting 185. His OP on base percentage is 313. His slugging is 398. And his OPS is 711 at the moment. Excuse me.
And 32 games, 108 at-bats.
23 runs, 20 hits. 4 doubles, 2 triples, 5 homers so far.
And you know what? I'm going to say something I saw because I follow the Durham Bulls on Instagram. 2 of those 5 home runs came in one game.
Oh, okay.
He had a 2-homer game the other night. He has 5 home runs, 9 RBIs, 19 walks, 49 strikeouts, and he's stolen 6 bases. And what was the one thing we talked about with him when we ranked him? What does he have potential for?
Speed.
20 homer, 20 stolen bases.
Yeah, I was going to say the 2020 club.
Mm-hmm. So that is prospect number 1 for the Rays. Number 2 is a guy that's in Double-A, Xavier Isaac, and here's my co-host with the stats that are showing on the screen.
Yeah, he's hitting 235 from Montgomery. His OPS is 435, slugging 559. His OPS is 994. He's had 11 games, 34 at-bats, 6 runs, 8 hits, 3 doubles, 1 triple, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 12 walks. How many Ks does he have? Only has 15 Ks and 1 stolen base. Okay.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Hasn't, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bub, because you're closer to the Rays than I am. He's been one of those guys that was supposed to be possibly on the opening day roster, but it looks like they're predicting him to be next year in 2026.
He got a crack at trying to make it, but I think from what I was reading, they want him to develop a little more.
Okay.
And as you see, he's 6'3", 240. He's a lefty. Yeah. I think the guy that's closer, as you can see right now, is Carson Williams, 2025. The problem is when you call him up, where's he going to play? Because Kev's going to play short. I mean, I guess you could put him at second. Because I think Lau's going to probably get moved because he's going to be a free agent after, I think, next year. And you also have this guy right here that we also ranked and we're about to talk about right now, Braden Taylor, who's teammates with Xavier Isaac and Montgomery. And he, as my co-host will tell you, his stats from the last... Okay, so we just have to go career. So this year in Montgomery, as shows on the board, what are his stats?
He's hitting 140 with an on-base percentage of 275, slugging 291. His OPS is 566. 24 games, 86 at-bats, 12 runs, 12 hits, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 3 home runs, 13 RBIs. See what his walks and his strikeouts are. 16 walks,
Yikes.
21 stolen base. Yeah, last 30 games, has he not been playing for the Biscuits? That's interesting. Oh, no, May 7th. Okay.
0 for 3. Last 3 games, he's gone 0 for 9.
0 for 9. Okay. With 2 walks in his last 3 games. Wow. Okay.
And 4 strikeouts. Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my favorite prospect for the Rays. He's in Durham. He might be closer to coming up, closer to being promoted than Xavier Isaac. Trey Morgan. And his career stats, for 2025 right now. And then we'll look at the last 30 days for him, at last 30 games after we go over the stats.
He's in Durham with the Bulls. He's hitting 259. His on-base percentage is 394, slugging 345. His OPS is 739, 17 games, 58 at-bats, 8 runs, hits, 5 doubles, no homers, 8 RBIs, 10 walks, 14 strikeouts with no stolen bases so far this year.
And over the last 30 games, he has gone. He had
He's had what? 4 hits? 4 hits in the last. Okay.
Yeah, 4 hits in the last 3 games. A double. And 4 walks to 1 strike to. Let's see, where's his strikeouts? 4 walks. Yeah, not bad.
Well, you could say 5 walks, but because he has 1 intentional walk, so you could say 5 at that point.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
Nope, not at all.
Theo Gillen is nowhere close to being called up.
Well, who is their A squad for the Rays?
Low A is, I believe, Bowling Green. High A is Charleston.
Okay. So I was thinking
Gillen is probably, he's 19. So let's click and see. He's in Charleston.
Okay.
Yikes. He's hitting 192 with an OBP of 364, slugging of 385 at a 749 OPS. In 8 games, 26 at-bats, 6 hits, the 6 runs scored, 5 hits, no doubles, 1 triple, 1 home run, 1 RBI, 7 walks, 13 strikeouts with 4 stolen bases. Projected EPA 2028.
Yeah, he's an A-ball. He's in low A-ball. He might get the call up to high A-ball. Yeah.
I would do Chandler Simpson, but he's in the big leagues, so we can't.
He's been called up.
Next one we're going to do is Braylor Guerrero. I believe I said that right. He is in
Charleston.
Charleston hitting. I'll let you do the stats.
He's hitting 269. His on-base percentage is 441. Slugging is 308. OPS is 749. 8 games, 26 at-bats. He's had 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 double, no triples, no homers, 3 ribbies, 8 walks, 6 strikeouts with 3 stolen bases. Nice. That'll help.
That helps the on-base percentage. He's walking more than he's striking out. Now, here's another guy, 19, Trevor Harrison.
Young kid.
He's in Charleston as well.
He's 2-2. 2-2 with ERA of 4.15. Okay. 26 innings pitched so far.
You notice that, looking at his stats, the one stat I noticed right now, look at between 2 teams in 2024. He gave up 5 home runs. Look what he's done in Charleston so far this year, albeit in 26 innings. He hasn't given up the home run yet.
Mm-hmm. And
I hope we didn't just jinx him.
Look at his walk to strikeout ratio too, but he's had 28 strikeouts to 15 walks. That's good too.
Oh, look at that opponent's average. 219. Look at the whip.
1.38. Yeah.
4.15 ERA, a whip of just above 1.4. That's nothing to sneeze at for a kid that's only 19.
Yeah. And he's in high A ball. Yeah.
Low A ball, I believe.
But do you want to do Dominic Keegan since he's a catcher? That's one of the things. Just the Rays have really never really kind of, grew.
Yeah, let's get to Dominic Keegan's in Montgomery, and here is Bradley with his stats. Oh no, he's in Durham.
He's in Durham. Yeah, he's in Durham. Has he not played a game for the Bulls this year? I don't see any, because that's for the Biscuits.
No stats available. Maybe not.
Okay, maybe he hasn't started. He hit 285 last year for the Biscuits in Double-A.
Okay, the last guy we're going to look at is a guy that Rays got in the Zach Eflin trade, Jackson Baumeister. Ouch.
Ooh. Over 3. Ooh, almost an 8 in the ERA category. Ouch.
Yikes.
See, he's had 6 games, 6 starts, 25 innings pitched, 28 hits. Wow, 5 homers, 13 walks, 21 strikeouts. Yeesh. They're hitting
that opponent's average 280. That's almost a 300.
Yeah, that's not good. That is not
even good. The whip is not good either. 1.64.
Yeah.
That means you're giving almost 2 hits per 9.
Yep, correct.
Yikes.
Well, you're giving up 2 runs with runner. Yeah, yep, correct. Per 9 innings. Yep.
The next one is the Minnesota Twins. And how fitting. I just talked about Walker Jenkins earlier. And he is their number 1 prospect. And here's his ouch. Yeah, he ain't getting called up to AAA anytime soon.
Nah, he's only hitting 125. On about 125 all the way across the board. And his OPS is 250. 2 games, 8 at bats, 1 hit in the last 8 games. Wow. Now, that's not good. That's why he's
that's on the season so far.
Yeah. That's what I mean. He's had 8 games and he only has 1 hit in 8 games. Ouch.
Emmanuel Rodriguez is at AAA for the Twins. He's their number 2 prospect. And here is Bradley with his stats.
He's hitting 224. His on-base range is 379, slugging 263. He's at 642 OPS. That's good. 22 games, 76 at-bats, 8 runs, 17 hits, 3 doubles. He has no homers, no triples. Let's see, 9 ribbies, 19 walks, 33 strikeouts. Okay, so he does strike out a lot. Okay. No, I mean, not bad.
Not too shabby. Luke Keishel was already – we would have talked about Luke Keishel if we did this a couple weeks ago. But as you can see, he got called up. And he was one of those guys that just barely missed out on our top 50 prospects. Kalen Culpepper, 22-year-old at high A ball. Wow.
He might be getting a call to Double-A here soon with those stats.
He's what's the word we use? Raking. That's an understatement.
3 batting average, 408 on base and slugging 493. His OPS is 901. Oh my lord! Wow, 17 games, 67 at bats, 14 runs, 22 hits, 3 doubles, 1 triple, 2 homers, 9 ribbies. Wow, yeah, he's getting on base. That's just 9 walks, 10
strikeouts with 4 stolen bases. So It seems he walks almost as much as he strikes out.
Which means he could be a tough at bat, bud, because you don't know if you're going to strike him out. So he's in high A ball. He's got to be getting called up soon to Double-A, I would imagine.
Connor
Prelip?
Prelip? I'm going to go with just call him by his first name, Connor.
That's a pretty cool name, too. The Wichita Wind Surge. That's a cool name for a baseball team.
Yes, it is.
He's 0-2 with a 4.73 ERA, 5 games, pitched 13 1/3, 14 hits, 2 homers, 3 walks, 17 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting 275. Oof, that's not good either, and neither is whip either. So
yeah, wow. The whip's a shade under 1.3.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get away with that.
You could.
Marco Rhea is in AAA with yikes. Oof. Buddy, if you're planning on getting called up, bring that ERA down.
Yeah. 0-1, 5 starts, 9 ERA, 12 innings pitched, 21 hits, no homers, 12 walks, 15 strikeouts. Look at that average. Oh my God. And it's 2.75. Yeah, he's got some things to do.
He's got some work to do. 404 opponent's average.
Because look at the top there. The first 2 seasons, the averages were under 200. So he's got some work to do.
I would say so myself.
Yeah,
Marco, you might need some more time in AAA. Well, look at that. He's only 22, so he is supposed to be called up this year.
Correct.
CJ Culpepper, pitcher. Oh, it looks like he hasn't pitched this year. He might be.
He's also Windsor. It's cool.
I guess we can move on to the next team now, the Cincinnati Reds.
Right, okay.
And a guy we ranked in our rankings again, Chase Burns, 2025. He's in Double-A right now. I think he's working his way toward a call up to Triple-A.
Yeah, 1-0 with an ERA of 2. 2 games, 2 starts, 9 innings pitched, 10 hits, no homers, 1 walk, 13 strikeouts. Opponents are only hitting 294, and his whip is 122. That's good. I mean, the average bit,
the opponent average is a little high, but for a guy that strikes out a lot and barely walks anybody,
yeah, 1 walk in 2 games. That's good.
I would say Rhett Lauder, but he's been up with the. It looks like he might be on a rehab assignment, so we can't do him. Shal Stewart and oh wow, oh.
There's the ranking. There's that word ranking again. Coming up.
Yeah, he might be pushing for a call up to AAA. Oh. Why don't you get defend his stats?
Yeah, he's hitting 308. His on base range is 390, slugging 471. On base, or OPS is 861. Wow, 28 games, 104 at bats, 21 runs, 32 hits, 11 doubles, no triples, 2 homers, 16 ribbies, 8 walks, 19 strikeouts. Wow.
But he's almost at the same amount of stolen bases that he had last year. So, which is 9. He had 10 last year between 2 teams. So, would you count him as a guy that's a threat to steal bases?
Yes. And hey, they already have one of those already. So why not bring him up? And you can throw him in there with Ellie. So one of the 2.
Well, look at that. It says he's supposed to be up next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Third baseman Cam Collier is next, and he's in high ball. I wouldn't say he's raking, but he's getting the job done.
248. His OPS is 355. Plugging 443 on. OPS 798. 119 games. 427 at bats. Wow, that's a little extreme. Okay.
That was 2024. It looks like he hasn't
played this year. Okay. That's last year. I was like, wait a minute. I know there hasn't been 100 games this year so for the minor leagues yet.
Here we go. Edwin Arroyo, 2026, projected to come up. Oh, there's that word again.
Raking. Yep.
And Double-A.
303 batting average. His OPS is 378. Slugging 364. His OPS 742. 17 games, 66 at bats, 10 runs, 20 hits, 4 doubles, no triples, no homers, 4 ribbies, and 6 walks, 17 strikeouts, and he has no stolen bases so far this season.
Chase Petty. He did make one start in the majors, and it was a yikes. 34 ERA. Well, why don't we look at his stats in Louisville with the Louisville Bats?
Looks like he's 1-2 with a 2.79 ERA. 6 games started, innings pitched 29. He's given up 21 hits, 4 homers, 12 walks.
Hold up. I'm having... I will get a second.
Uh, 12 walks, 35 strikeouts. His opponent's batting average 194. That's very good. That whip is 1.114. That's good too. Yeah, that's very good.
And we have two more Reds prospects, and then we're going to the Red Sox. No, that's not what I wanted. No. That's not what I wanted. We don't get docs for that. Connor Phillips.
He's in high A ball.
Yep.
Two games. He has no stats there. 2 2.3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no homers, 1 walk, 5K. Opponents rating 200 against him with a whip of 1.13. Okay.
Not bad.
Okay. Not bad.
And we finished it out with the Boston Red Sox. And we're going to start with Mr. Roman Anthony, who, before we get to the stats, I want to know what you think. I was watching something earlier today, that they were saying that Roman Anthony, they might try him at first base.
Okay.
But you can. What's the word we've been using all so often in this segment?
Raking.
And he's
hitting 301 with a on base percentage of 417, looking 496, OPS 913. Wow. 31 games, 113 at bats, 21 runs, 34 hits, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 5 homers, 17 ribbies, 24 walks, 27 strikeouts, 3 stolen bases so far. Yeah, I did just see something too, Bud, that they mentioned that they're not going to put Devers at first. I know they lost their first baseman. He was it a Achilles?
Patella.
Patella tear. Okay, yeah.
And then apparently Romy Gonzalez got hurt too, so you're down 2 first basemen.
Yeah. They said that they're not going to put Devers over there. So
we would do Christian Campbell, but as we all know, Mr. Campbell is in the big leagues.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to Mr. Marcelo Meyer, who he's having himself a good year at AAA.
273. His on-base percentage is 328, slugging 504. His OPS 832. 30 games, 121 at-bats, 21 runs, 33 hits, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 7 homers, 35 RBIs, 10 walks, 27 strikeouts, and 1 stolen base. Yeah, he's having a pretty solid start to his year for the I forget how to it's not Worcester, it's I forget
Worcester.
how they
Worcester.
There you go. Worcester. The Worcester Red
And I'm not
Sox.
even from Mass, so.
No, I said it the other way, and let me tell you, the people that are from there, they don't like that. When you mispronounce. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't say they're ours, which has never made sense to me, but. Okay, so the next guy we got is Franklin Arias. And
He's
between high A ball now, he was in low A at Salem, and he was ranking. And he's still ranking. He might be on his way up to double A.
Yeah, he's hitting currently 324 in high A ball. On base percentage of 425, slugging 559. OPS 984. That's so good. 8 games, 34 at bats, 4 runs, 11 hits, 2 doubles, no triples, 2 homers, 7 ribbies. Six walks, 5 strikeouts, 1 stolen base. Yeah, he could be moving his way up to double A here soon for the Sox.
Luis, that's not what I need. Oh, there we go. Luis Corrales?
Portland.
Never
Seahawks.
mind.
Portland.
Never
Seahawks.
mind. Never mind. He has not played.
Has not
Here's a
started.
guy. Try to pronounce this guy's name. Jonathan
Oxen with the Portland. He's
the
also
Portland Sea Dogs.
not bad. 291. That's a good average. 400.
He's almost hitting 300.
Yeah. 407 slugging, 807 OPS, 25 games, 86 at bats, 16 runs, 25 hits, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 1 homer, 12 ribbies, 17 walks, 21 strikeouts, 4 stolen bases. So, like, again, he's like that guy that strikes out as much as he walks. So, pretty good.
Yolan Cespedes.
And he Salem, he's an A-ball.
Oof.
Okay. 267, 395 slugging. His OPS is 662, 20 games, 81 at-bats, 9 runs, 18 hits, 7 doubles, 2 triples, 1 homer, 11 ribbies, 6 walks, 25 strikeouts. That's why I think his average is so low with the strikeouts.
Man, the Red Sox have a lot of second base and shortstop prospects. Yafari, I believe I said that right. Yafari Rodriguez.
He's in high A ball. He's hitting 227.
Well, no, wait.
Oh, sorry. Hitting 197.
Wow.
Move up. 371 on base percentage, 368 slugging, 739 OPS, 21 games, 76 at bats, 13 runs, 15 hits, 1 double, 3 triples, 2 homers, 9 ribbies, 20 walks, 17 strikeouts, and 5 stolen bases. Okay.
Then we get to. We can't do Hunter Dobbins because he's back in the big leagues. Miguel Blaze.
He is in high A ball.
Are those stats? Does it say 2025?
Yeah, but yeah, it's he's hitting 260. His OPS is 345, slugging 493, OPS 838, 19 games, 73 at bats, 15 runs, 19 hits, 5 doubles, no triples, 4 homers, 24 RBIs, 10 walks, 26 Ks, 4 stolen bases.
And that wraps up that. And the last thing we are going to finish out with is 2 things. One, can the Rays, I know it says keep winning, but can they get back in the win column either tonight or over the weekend? And what are some keys for them to get back in the win column?
I think they can. I don't know what the issue is with them playing at Steinbrenner Field. They haven't gotten in the groove of it yet. I mean, it's just flabbergasting, to say the least. But if they can hit the ball, they have the pitching. We both know that, both starting and their rotation and their bullpen. No doubt about that. They just got to get the hitting going, and they haven't been able to do that yet. And the lineup, I think, that's out today, again, it's Kevin Cash's move. It may be a little bit iffy of where certain players are hitting in the order. That depends too. So we'll have to see if it pans out this evening against the Phillies.
I agree that they can get back in the win column. And I'm going to give a little pep talk to a guy that was supposed to be my pep talk header this week, Junior Caminero. He's hitting 194 over the last 15 games, which is not good. I think he just needs to simplify things at the plate. And if he can do that, we're going to start to see the Junior Caminero we saw last year.
Yep.
And I think, and I think the pitching can turn it around. The problem is they've had so many injuries, whether it be the bullpen, whether it be McClanahan. They just lost another reliever to the injured list. Hunter Biggie went on the injured list, and they had to call up Cole Sulser. I like the bullpen. The one issue I have with it is they don't have a lot of guys. I mean, Mason Engler can give you 2 or 3 innings, but they don't have that guy, that long reliever that they used to have that can go 3, 4 innings when need be. And I feel like they've had that every year. And all of a sudden this year, they're like, oh, we're not going to carry somebody that can go 3 or 4 innings out of the bullpen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we mentioned at the beginning of the show why don't we explain to everybody what is going on Tuesday night?
So me and Alec will be doing a live broadcast of the South Florida, North Florida baseball game at Red McEwen Stadium in Tampa. It's going to be cool, guys. If you happen to listen to the show, if you are went to school with Alec or know him from North Florida, or you've seen me at USF games, come on over, sit with us, ask us questions. We'll be more than happy to talk. But we're going to be there live, guys, calling the game or just reacting to the game as we watch it. But I'm looking forward to it. I've never met Alec in person, so we'll be meeting each other for the first time person on Tuesday. So this is cool. I mean, now Alec will be the 3rd co-host that I've met. I still have not met 2 of my co-hosts on my show, but I have met the other 2. So it'd be kind of cool. It's going to be cool, guys. It's college baseball, so it's going to be fun. It's college baseball, yes, guys. I mean,
as Bradley mentioned, Tuesday night we will be doing a live watch party from the USF UNF baseball game. And to my friends that watched the show, they went to UNF with me. If you see me there, whether it be during the game or before the game, don't hesitate to walk up, say hi. And same thing if you see Bradley before the game, or if you end up running into us during the game, come up, ask us questions. Should be interesting. This is the first of many in-person meetings for us. As most of you know, we've already said it numerous times. 2026, both of us are going to Ann Arbor, Michigan for Michigan, Oklahoma. And we have some stuff to talk about Michigan, but we're going to do that on our college football podcast that starts, Helmet to Helmet podcast, that starts in July. But if you haven't already, please remember, leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you feel like subscribing, please subscribe to my channel or Bradley's channel, The Walker Report. And come join us at 8 o'clock on The Walker Report as we go over WrestleMania and give our 3 favorite WrestleManias and more. But we will see everybody on Bradley's show at 8 o'clock.